Hello YouTubers, Joe Kersey here on Friday, February 21st, 2014, about 2 in the afternoon Eastern time. You can see we've got the water back in the basement here. It's not all that deep. If you look over here by the this little piece of styrofoam, I bought that when I made the big dog house. It has now since rotted away. So that tells you how long it's been sitting there. It's been sitting it's been sitting there since around 1983. And you can sort of see on the wheel of the fan there, the light, I admit, is not the best. It's not that deep. It's not deep enough that I can even pump it out effectively, so. You can cast your eye down there. Yeah, you can see your breath even. Well, you can't see it because I'm blowing it out behind the camera. Check out those Stroh's cases full of returnable bottles. Boy, that's a blast from the past. Well, we shall now go upstairs. Oh, that shadow kind of neat. It's almost like one of these film noir monster things starting, huh? Don't fall backwards here, Joe. Alrighty. Well, that'll have to drain out a bit. Paul's doing some internet-y stuff. Joe's doing some internet-y stuff too here. He's uploading a video from yesterday that he couldn't upload because the internet was out. More of that perhaps than not. Well, heck, watch this video when it gets up. Here. Let's wander through here. We had quite the little well, we had a squall line come through last night, and it was supposed to be windy, but it wasn't windy last night. But it sure is windy today. And come on, focus now, dude. There you go. The snow's almost all melted. Well, as you can see on this Friday, Paul's got the day off. As I said, I'm currently uploading a video and he's looking at videos. We'll go out on the deck here now and do some further yakking, unless the wind proves to be too loud. It might. We'll see. Let me give you a little length of purchase here. Well, you've got your you got the muddy water sort of coming in under the ice here in the little backwash area. So it's turning the thing into kind of this muddy ice sludge. Clearly the melt hasn't really hit this side of the house yet. Well, that's to be expected, isn't it? It's in the shade. Okay. Well, I've been up since around 12:30 this morning. I slept 4.5 hours and I just couldn't get back to sleep, so of course I interneted and did some email, and a couple, three of you guys that watch me got messages from me, and comments on your videos from me and so forth. So, I mean, that's, you know, that's what it is. That's what happens. One fellow said he had this, just this massive headache, and he'd taken just down almost like over a gram of caffeine, to try to make it go away. Sometimes that works. He says maybe his kidneys will fall out, and I said, well, unless you have a stroke first. Well, it's nice. It's it's about it's in the mid-30s. Feels warmer. Well, I'm in the sun, but it's in the mid-30s. There isn't anything too profound right now, but I think I'll go inside and talk about what is profound a little bit. All right. Heck, maybe we'll just all go in here. Maybe we'll just sort of keep continuously running here. Little cinema verite, as our friends from France say. Oh my word! Oh! Don't get water in my camera. I think I averted disaster. A big drop of water fell on my. Oh, that would be a wonderful development. Ouch. Yeah, don't close your finger in the door, Joe. Yeah, it's not charming when one closes one fingers in the door. Yeah. I gotta read in church on Sunday here, so I try to keep my hands looking fairly reasonable. I mean, nobody wants to have a big bloody finger stuck in front of them holding the communion cup. Yeah, it doesn't go over very well. Actually, got an email from the church here the other day saying that the people that do the reading and passing out the wine at communion have to do what I call the DNFKE training. Do not F kids ever training. Safe church. Don't fill up the kids in church. Don't molest the kids in church training. Yeah, well, if anybody in their right mind thinks that I'm going to submit to that kind of nonsense, I guess I just won't be up there reading or whining. I might be whining, but I won't be whining. You can see I grew up in a Protestant church where that wasn't a big deal. It should have been. It should have been, but it wasn't. I called my judge friend, and he got on the case with the rector, and the rector said they hadn't made clear who needed to do that particularly. On the other hand, he didn't make clear who actually did have to do it particularly. And then there's this thing about being licensed. You have to be licensed. Well, I've never been licensed. I was trained, they took me aside and trained me how to do it. That was in 2005. Actually, just about 2005, February of 2005. So I've been doing this now 9 years, starting into my 10th year. Well, maybe if they still let me do it. But I probably have to get re-licensed. Well, I was never licensed in the first place. As I haven't said here nearly enough, just give me a break. Just Give me a break. Just give me a break. So that'll basically see how this plays out here. Now I'm scheduled to read on Sunday, as I said, so we'll see. The internet came back on last night about midnight. So I mean, when I woke up at midnight, I immediately, you know, sort of like in the Gospel of Mark. Immediately, I went out and checked the internet, and it was on. Now I haven't called Time Warner to tell them that they don't need to come out here on Saturday, because they generally figure out when they don't need to come out. Plus, I don't know if I'd really want to spend any more time talking with that. Well, of course, you never get the same one. But you have to go through the computer-generated voicemail nonsense. It's just awful. It's just awful. Well, piss and moan, huh? There you are. Now, the serious thing I wanted to mention and talk about, probably not briefly, given me, I happened to put on this thing, and I scroll through the Daily Mail website every day, and the Daily Mail's the Daily Mail. I mean, it's 85% of it is boyfriend drowns girlfriend's children upside down while phoning, sex text messages to, somebody on Mars, that kind of stuff. But about 10 to 15% of the stuff's actually somewhat worthwhile from time to time. And they had this thing the other day, which I did not, well, I glanced at and read, I actually clicked on it, but I didn't, I read enough of it, I think, well, this is just bizarre. And it was this, the photograph at the head of the article was this Wisconsin National Guard funeral, military funeral, dead service individual funeral team, that carried the casket and folded the flag and presented the flag, and they were clustered around what would be a standard U.S. military casket with a flag on it, and they were striking all sorts of bizarre poses, and I thought, this is just strange. This is awful. And I sort of cursorily read through it, and they said, well, the casket's empty, and it made it sound like some sort of oddball initiation ceremony, and turns out it was a photograph they'd taken when they were training to do this with an empty casket. But the article didn't make it out. It's the Daily Mail. I just didn't pay that much attention to it. But apparently one of the unit members, a young woman from Wisconsin, had put some of these pictures up on her Instagram or social media or whatever, passes for computer interaction nowadays. And then, of course, it was very offensive to huge numbers of people, particularly people who have had their child die in military service. Well, even when they're in their 40s, they're still their child, aren't they? So I got an email from a fella. Well, I got an email from our nephew, sending me a link to a TV interview that had been done with a woman who had her son killed in Afghanistan. And she had written a letter to the Wisconsin National Guard. And the three people, well, specifically addressing the woman who had posted these pictures, and then her immediate NCO, and then the head of the Wisconsin National Guard. And it's just an appalling situation when something like that happens, because it casts a black eye on all of the people who assist at these funeral services. It's just very profoundly troubling. I got thinking about that though then. I had described this funeral service for this fellow that had been in the Battle of Midway. He was a carrier pilot, Phil Powers. And there was a team that came out and did the military honors. And that went off without a hitch. And then after the service was actually breaking up, after people were leaving, then the members of that detail started to visibly relax and joke around. No, well, not in a disrespectful manner, but they were being, let's say, perhaps a hair louder than some people might wish to have had, been going on. And I thought that's a bit odd that they couldn't just leave to do that or move off a little farther, but so it's apparently this isn't necessarily just an isolated issue, I guess. Although hopefully it should be a non-issue ever. I mean not a non-issue, but an issue doesn't even arise. Well, one video is up and processed and loaded, and I think maybe I'll be sticking this one up here a little later on. So Paul's going out to have a
walkabout smoke.
Have a smoke and a beer. Well, good. Now you work tomorrow and Sunday, right? Well, you work tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you work Sunday.
Yeah, because there's a big crowd coming.
Okay. But you're not sure about the rest of the following week.
No, because
yes, I understand. The one individual hasn't made the schedule. Yeah. All righty, so we're going to say bye-bye, YouTubers. Bye-bye. Paul got new shoes here. I'll show him your new. $63 for those boys. Look at that. Whoa! Of course, about $7 that was taxed to state of Ohio and the county and so forth. Alrighty, bye-bye.
They better work.
Well, I hope so for that price. Either that or some little Chinese teenager is going to get spanked, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, and I'll do it personally.
Oh no, I don't think. I don't think you'll go over there to do that. And you wouldn't want to go over that commie hellhole, would you? I wouldn't.
Nah.
All right. Well, as bad as things can sometimes seem here, at least we don't live in a commie hellhole.
Thank heaven.
Yeah, thank God. All righty. Bye-bye, YouTubers.